Hey, I'm Chicken, and I want to talk about non-pin cooler options. And the non-pin cooler option I want to talk about for this video is going to be Clawz 96. Clawz 96 can play either aggressively or supportively, but in my opinion, if it's going to be your weapon that's getting the most coolers, whether it is the only cooler or the one having or the cooler weapon with the most output, it should be played supportively because losing your cooler never feels good. It also has dart, which is decent chip, but is still very hard to hit, so it is kind of just there for the most part, a lot of the time. For this guide, I want to talk about what you want to run Clawz with, not the... This isn't a guide about play style or really, or abilities to run with it. This is a guide about what weapons you want to run with it, and like really the team comps, and hopefully get into a little bit of team theory. So for that, I made a tier list of weapons you can run Clawz with. And as a basis for this tier list, we have Anchor, Hybrid, and Aggros. And I know Hybrid sounds a little weird, but like I said earlier, I think unless you, in my opinion, you shouldn't be running double support, or at least double non-anchor support. Like, credit is about the only time I would suggest running two full quote-unquote supports with Clawz, because generally you're looking for more aggressive matchup timer-focused comps here. And then, so the thing with I don't know about these section is just these are weapons that I can't really fully recommend in best confidence like I can the others. So talking about anchors first, in my opinion, the best two anchors are going to be Firefin and Leader because they have a clear and easy way to challenge Pin. I couldn't really tell you which one's better because while Firefin has a harder time challenging Pin, it does have a much better special than Leader. Otherwise, like for those two, the only bad things about them is they are most definitely not good at painting, and Leader doesn't really have a good special, but in my opinion, I would think the main weapon kind of makes up for it. And then the fact that they can be inconsistent if your charger player isn't good. Going on to the next one, there's Credit, which it's most certainly a good one. It's just in my opinion, it doesn't have it's not very good at challenging Pin, because while it has a bomb and crab, it's not really consistently going to have either, and then bombs really don't help that much in the overall scheme of things when you're challenging a Pin. So it really needs crab, and it's not going to have a crab all the time, although it does get a decent amount of crab. It's not like a bad amount of crab. And then there's Rapid, which can, like, it's rapid, it can do rapid things. And while it probably has the worst kit and main weapon out of it, although Dart does help a good bit, like especially for the direct combo. It's the reason it's up here compared to these two rapids is because one, I can really only in good faith recommend V rapid in a V long rapid in a Rainmaker context. I think it would work in tower, but I don't know enough about how VAC and tower interact. And then Cooler Rapid, I don't know enough about double cooler and 96 to say something about that. Same thing why the cooler head it's in here. And then Red Pin is just kind of like Red Pin. It's weird. It can challenge Pin, but like it's just, in my opinion, not the thing. So going on next to the hybrid weapons, there's Horns Dread, which has crab and it has really good paint, and it can throw its paint out much farther, so it can paint much less risky than other weapons can. And it also has insane chip with 96, just because like that plus 40 damage with a 62 shot is amazing. And the reason why V Dreads and I don't know about these categories, because while it has a lethal, I don't really think Reef is that much of a play for this comp, but that's something for the Dread mains, not me. So then there's the two dualies, which would both be good in any scenario. Fizzy would lean itself more towards chip, but Crab kind of does that too, so I would really say with whichever dualies you're running, I would say match it up with the sword you're running. You can run either with V-Stamper, just make sure you're not running like T-dualies and Mint together. And then there's 3 shots here. And the reason they're in hybrid, they're a full hybrid that I think I can suggest well, and over Splash and Pro, is because they consistently play aggressively, and they also have like aggressive specials now. Pro could probably be up here, but at least with V-Splash, I feel like V-Splash doesn't play enough fighting focused on its main weapon, and then also both splashes have lethals, but also G-Shot, both shots, sorry, have both T-Tech and V-Shot have lethals, but even though G-Shot does have Burst Bomb, it's easily probably the most, like, it's the best aggressive shooter right now. And I know with Kraken that does sound a little weird, but like with Kraken it can play aggressive on tower, and it also can actually get relatively safe recalls or something like that because of how Kraken recall works. You can get safe jumps in with the recall. And so moving on to aggressive weapons, in my opinion, the best aggressive weapon here is going to be Mint, because Mint can paint. Its 40 damage is going to insta-kill after a 96 hit, unlike Stamper. It can also, like, dive in a better way, if that makes sense, than Stamper. Stamper does have a better matchup spread, but I think Mint just fits better in this comp. Otherwise, Stamper, if you want to run T-Dualies for whatever reason, you can run Stamper here. But I would say Mint is probably going to be better. Glugaz is here because I know C96 and Glugaz has been a comp that Japan has actually ran before, like it straight up won an area cup. Otherwise for these guys, Slosher I think has a too high possibility of being too slow. Like, especially when you generally don't want to run Slosher in a dualies. Like, if you're running dualies, you're gonna want to probably be running a sword, so Mint or Stamper. But like Slosher, so you're running like horns or a shot, and I don't think that's fast enough. Squeezer, I don't really know enough on. Same with the blasters. They're mainly there if you want to try like red pin stuff, but I wouldn't recommend it. And then before I close the video out, something before I wanted to talk about was something I think is an idea is you can actually run like backless. And when I say backless, I don't just mean, oh, you're running Headit kind of backless. I mean like no defined anchor weapon. I mean like my suggestion would be C96 and like 2 aggressive weapons, and then like G-Shot or something like that. Because like basically I would say your formula should be C96, 2 things you can jump to, and then something else. So, like, you can jump to G-Shot because it has Kraken, and it can use Kraken. It's also going to be a good weapon for this because you get to play aggressively, and you get to play more into that rushdown state that you're going to be playing towards normally. And I would suggest is your other weapons. I would suggest a dualies and a sword, because those all play aggressively. The swords have range. V-Dualies and Mint have lethal bombs. V-Dualies has Crab. I would suggest V-Dualies over T-Dualies because I think Crab works better, but just suggestion I like to make. You can also run Dread for Crab, but yeah. Last thing is actually that my subscribers who saw the post that I posted on my YouTube channel actually got to pick which of the non-cooler weapons they wanted this video on. So if you want to help with the next one, I'll probably put the poll up sometime around tomorrow morning. Go sub to the YouTube channel. Also, liking and commenting would be very appreciated. Like, maybe comment next, just so I see what weapons you'd like me to do. Or maybe, like, things you wanted to correct me on, things you don't think I didn't mention. So, yeah, but subscribe. There's also I'm also going to put a Discord server kind of associated with this. It's not the main thing about the server is not the YouTube channel, but it's my server, so I definitely want to promote it. So that'll be in the description as well.